How's it going, everybody? It is Ice Bear Gaming here. So I've been watching a lot of, the Battlefield 6 gameplay and the reveal trailer for the multiplayer, and I am very happy to say that a lot of my expectations with, the Battlefield Labs and the video I did from a couple months ago is actually coming true. We're definitely going back to more of a Battlefield 3 and a Battlefield 4 style gameplay shift. We're getting rid of the specialists and bringing back the class system. We're going through and having grounded military combat, slower movement, definitely looks to be a lot slower in pace, probably roughly about maybe Battlefield 4 style of movement, gauging off the videos. I was not able to get access to play the Battlefield Labs thing whenever it was going on. Unfortunately, I never got to hear back. So that was the only disappointing bit. I wish I would have gotten access to be able to play it and actually give you guys my proper feedback and opinions of the pre-alpha. And even whenever I was watching a little bit of the pre-alpha gameplay that was being leaked on YouTube, I can definitely say I was very excited that we're finally getting back to the shift of what we should be playing, of like how Battlefield should be played. And, I'm very excited to see Battlefield go back to being the top dog in terms of the multiplayer shooter and the big open sandbox and having ground vehicle combat and aerial combat. And I'm ready to go back to sitting down and actually playing the respective roles of playing the support, the medic, assault, recon, engineer. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to sit down and play the game itself here this upcoming weekend whenever the beta drops. But I also wanted to give you guys a little bit of my thoughts and opinions of what I did see and a few nitpicks that I wish will get changed, which I don't know if they will or not, or if they can go through and tune it to be a little bit better. First off, the assault class. I do not like the direction that they took with the assault class. They are trying to mirror it to a degree to be like the assault class from Bad Company 2, which I'm fine with. I loved the class style back in Bad Company 2. I love the class style in 3 and 4. And Bad Company 2's assault, and back then, they had the grenade launcher, they had the ammo pack, and they had the ability to go through and deal with terrain and stuff like that, walls and buildings and stuff like that, and provide ammo for the team. But the assault here, they get the grenade launcher, but they don't get the ammo pack. They get a stim that allows them to go through and instantly heal themselves with a small time in between, and a speed boost that's on a permanent recharge. I don't like that for the fact that you can go through and just instantly heal whenever you want, especially if you're in the middle of combat. Now, I don't know if they'll have a delay whenever you get shot like it is in 3 or 4, where it pauses the healing and doesn't continue doing the healing until after you're out of combat, or whenever you get shot at or suppressed in any way, shape, or form. In 3 and 4, it would stop the healing altogether and pause it until the combat was finished or you died. So we'll see what happens there. From what I've seen, it doesn't look like there's a pause. Now, I could be wrong. If somebody seen where someone popped a stim and it paused whenever they were being shot at, please let me know in the comments. But from what I was seeing from Level Cap, whenever he would be in the middle of combat or what have you, he would pop a stim and it would just continue going as he was trying to get into better cover positions. So I don't know how to feel about that quite yet, because it doesn't feel like Battlefield. It feels like they're trying to pull some Call of Duty elements where, you're getting a speed boost and you're getting instant health regen, where it's what's the point of a medic then? If the assaults can go through and just instantly heal themselves, and if your entire team, if you're going through and just matchmaking by yourself, you're not with a dedicated squad with dedicated roles of who's playing what, and you get into a squad and it's nothing but assaults, what's your point then? Because I know they changed how the support class works, where it gives you ammo and health. Hopefully it's kind of more of a persistent pool like it was in 3 and 4, where you toss it on the ground and you stand there and it would just give you passive health and recharge or regain your ammo passively over time while standing on the box or within the radius of the box. Hopefully it's more like that. It doesn't look like they're pulling from 5 or 2042, where whenever you pull it, it goes on a brief cooldown. It definitely seems like it might be more of a persistent thing, which is hopefully the case. And if that is the case, that'd be awesome. But as it stands right now, Assault class I don't like for the simple fact that they get stims. They get 2 primary weapons. You know, they get an assault rifle and then, you know, either a DMR, shotgun, or carbine. So they're pretty much like the jack of all trades and master of all because they can conquer at any distance. If you're playing, you know, close to long range, you know, shotgun, assault rifle. If you're playing medium to long range, you have your assault rifle and you got a DMR and you still have a backup sidearm. I think it's a little bit too much. They either have to get rid of the secondary weapon. Well, they would definitely have to get rid of the secondary weapon because I do not like them having 2 primaries. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right for a Battlefield game. And definitely get rid of the stims. Give them some more like team support options. Like if you're gonna have them be like building busters or whatever, give them more like options to break open walls or something. There needs to be more of like, you know, the support mechanic for them being the assault class. They need to support the team in some way, shape, or form other than just being able to destroy buildings or terrain to open up lines of sights for your team to be able to get eyes on the enemy. As far as the maps go, we did only get to see like a few maps, at least during the reveal streams for like the multiplayer and everything. They were showing off the Brooklyn map, and they were showing off the Liberation Peak or whatever. Liberation Peak looks pretty good. The layout seems really good. There definitely seems like a lot of like decent battle zones, I think is what they were calling it, where like combat zones where people are going to be congregating in certain areas of the map to do combat in. It definitely does feel like that. I don't know how to feel about the Brooklyn map yet because it definitely feels like it's more like infantry focused. Now there's nothing wrong with that because we did have our lockers, we did have our metro back in 3 and 4, and in 4 as well because we had lockers and metro that came back. But I don't know, the way the map feels like it's designed, it almost feels like it should be more like a sign crossing to me as far as like the Brooklyn's map where, you know, you have like your elevation points where there should be like LAVs coming around, not so much tanks or other like air vehicles, but there feels like there should be like light armor that's going around and providing support for the infantry units. So maybe that might be coming in later, but it just feels weird that we have that map where it feels more like akin to like sign crossing, but it's not because there's no LAVs or anything like that rolling through the streets. It might just be because of how the layout is, because there is a lot of debris on the road, so maybe they couldn't implement it that way. But I would love to have like a map that's resembled to Sign Crossing because that was one of my favorite Battlefield 3 maps back in the day. And as far as the weapons go, I really hope that they go through and lock weapons to the, you know, individual classes, like assaults having, I guess, assault rifles, and supports having the LMGs, snipers having access to the snipers, and engineers having access to either the PDWs or the carbines, whatever you want to give them, and having one of the other ones be the universal weapons that other people can use then. Because it sounds like they might have 2 different playlists during the beta, and then we'll decide then what we want. But I'm definitely leaning more towards, I want class identity. I want assaults being represented with assault rifles, supports being represented with LMGs and being able to provide ammo and I guess health at this point because they're combining it into one bag now, and snipers being associated with snipers, and, you know, engineers being associated with either PDWs or carbines. I don't care as long as it's locked to those specific classes because it gives more class identity and makes the game a little bit better, like it was back in 3 and 4. You know, as far as the recoil goes, it definitely feels like the recoil seems a little bit non-existent, but until we get our hands on it, I want to hold off a little bit more of my judgment because the games were being played on mouse and keyboard, and, you know, mouse and keyboards recoil isn't as bad as it is on consoles, so maybe consoles might be a little bit higher in terms of recoil, where the mouse and keyboard, it might not be as much. But, you know, we'll play the wait and see game, and we'll see how it is across both systems, and maybe you guys can give me your feedback here whenever the beta drops and let me know what you guys are feeling about the recoil and stuff, because it does seem a little bit laser beamy like it was back in 2042. I'm not liking that. That's the only thing I can really say I don't like. Hopefully we get a little bit more maps on variety whenever the beta comes out. Maybe we might see like 2-3 maps. Hopefully something that's different from the the ones that we've seen during the reveal, but it's kind of just like a little wait and see sort of deal. But yeah, let me know what you guys think so far in the comments below. I would love to hear your guys' feedback and opinions so far. I know for me, I'm cautiously optimistic. I miss Battlefield, I miss playing it, I miss being able to sit down and squad up with my friends, and I had a lot of fun whenever I was playing Battlefield several years ago. Back whenever I was like going out of my high school days, it was toward the end of my high school years, whenever I was going through and playing a lot of Battlefield 4, and I did the Colonel 100 streams, and I did like 13 different parts of that, and I was going through and grinding that out, and we were squatting up with the boys. We had like 9 people playing at one point, where we were all in the same server communicating in one big party chat. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get back to that. And hopefully, I'm hoping that we do have a server browser and community servers again to keep the game lively like we do now. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 still have servers, probably even Battlefield 1 as well. There's still a lot of servers up for those games because people are still renting servers to keep the games alive. And that's what we need for Battlefield 6 as well. Give us a server browser back and allow us to tune and customize the settings like we did back in the day. So whenever the normal servers go offline or they're not as populated anymore, we still have community servers. So on a final note, 2 different things. One, let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments about, Battlefield 6 and the reveal and the trailers and the gameplay that we've seen so far. For me, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm very excited. I'm ready to sit down and play the beta here this upcoming weekend, and I can't wait to see you guys out on the battlefield as well. I'm excited to see this be big again. I'm ready to see Battlefield make a comeback. And secondly, for people who have been watching the channel for a while now, I'm going to be going on vacation here starting tomorrow. I'll be going to the beach for a couple of days, so I won't be able to do any live streams or anything like that. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, so I should be back Tuesday night, and I might stream then, but it's kind of iffy depending on how exhausted I am from the drive back, because it's gonna be like a 6-hour drive, so, or close to a 7 maybe. So if you don't hear anything from me until like maybe Wednesday night, I'll see you then. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble for a little bit. This was very fun seeing all the Battlefield gameplay and the reveal trailer and everything. It's been so exciting to see all this unfold. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys here in the stream for Battlefield 6, and hopefully I'll see you out on the battlefield. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.